Welcome to the Brand Success Podcast, where you'll hear amazing stories from people like you who overcame their fears, frustrations, and obstacles on their way to brand success. Join us to be inspired by how they persevered, pivoted, and powered on to success. Not easy, but they did it, and so can you.
So welcome, my friends. I'm Kay Wagner, North Star Marketing. Have you ever felt like you're on a hamster wheel, like you're spinning plates all the time, like it's really difficult to have balance between life, work, family, friends, holidays, all the stuff that we have going on? I think you'll agree we all feel that way one time or another. So today we have on Brand Success someone who has some answers for us about how she put together her brand to actually address some of those issues. Today we have with us Cyndi Walter. Her brand is Synergy, and she is going to clear up this whole mess that we call stress. All right, Cyndi, have at it.
Thanks, Kay. Honored to be here today. So hi, everyone. My name is Cyndi Walter, and I'm in a very rural area in northeastern Ohio with horse and buggies going by our home every day. I've been a work-from-home mom for almost 5 years now. We have 4 children. My oldest is 24, my only son, and then 3 daughters. And the youngest being a senior in high school. So we'll be soon empty nesters. And it was always a big dream of ours that I could stay home with our children. And I was fortunate in that my husband had a good career and we were able to do that. But after having quite a rough childhood and learning at a very young age how to have a very strong work ethic, I paid my own way. And at a young age, I was, saw myself with a car bill and insurance and gasoline. And I actually had a phone line into my bedroom in our very small home. And so at a very young age, I learned how to earn money, the value of money, and the importance of it. And I paid my way through college that way, working full-time, waitressing, attending school, teaching fitness classes, doing whatever I needed to do so I could get that degree. And I actually got the degree right before I had my first baby. So it took me a long time. I didn't do it, quick, like my children are doing it in 4 years. It took me 8. And so when I became a stay-at-home mom, which was my dream come true, I did feel like I wanted to do a little something because I didn't want to have to ask my husband for money when I wanted to take the kids to do something fun. So I was introduced to direct selling, network marketing at a very young age. And for 20 years, I did home parties in women's homes. And it was a great outlet for me to be around other moms, have conversations with adults because we had 4 kids in 7 years. But when I say I was juggling a lot of plates at one time, I certainly was. I was trying to earn some income for the family, help out, but yet be the best mom I could be the best wife, take care of the home and everything else. So I've always been someone that is seeking out balance, but knowing full well that you can't have everything perfectly balanced without stress. Just learning how to handle it all. About 7 years ago, I stopped doing that, and I now have a health and wellness brand online, and that's kind of when I rebranded myself. So Synergy Inc., the way that came upon me for a name, when I thought about what do I want my business name to be, I thought, what's important to me? My faith, my family, my friends, my business, health, and fitness. Those were like my big core pillars, I would say, and all of them work synergistically together. So for me to be my best, happiest, most authentic, genuine self, I need to be healthy, fit, happy with, my time with my family, be, of course, in my faith every day, all of those things working synergistically. So I discovered that was to be the happiest me, I had to figure out how to synergistically bring all of this in together. So over the years, my journey was, I definitely have had some ups and downs.
Right.
7 years ago when I switched gears, it was kind of like a rocket ship. It was amazing. But the reason that happened is because I had 20 years of ups and downs and challenges, and I really had to learn personal growth and development. That was a big one for me. I was not ready for success 20 years ago, 10 years ago even. It took me a long time. Lots of podcasts, listening to great podcasts like this, lots of reading wonderful books, going to conferences, pouring in all kinds of goodness into myself to learn how to believe in myself, how to be more confident, how to serve and help other people. So I learned a lot in 20 years of doing this, so that my last 7 have been more, now I have confidence. Now I can speak and train and teach. I can do all of those things because of the lessons I learned my first 20 years. Right. So I would characterize my brand as everything working synergistically together. And I would say for those of you that are wanting to build your brand, the important things to think about are what's most important to you in the world. My why is my family. So I am willing to do uncomfortable things, speaking in front of people, being guests on podcasts, reaching out to complete strangers on LinkedIn to connect with new people, going to networking events. I'm willing to do all of those things that might be considered uncomfortable because my why is my family and all I do is for them. So really consider what is your why in doing your business, what's most important to you as you brand yourself, and what is most genuine to you. Because for me, when I speak about any of those pillars, it's complete genuine. It's from the heart. I don't have to think about it, prepare for it. Anything I say, it's just complete 100% authentically me. And that's super important when you're putting out a brand. What I might do differently, it took me a long time to find my brand. I went 20 years without a brand. So I would say, what I would do differently is, make sure that you do have a brand, because like when I post on social media, when I go live, when I am in front of people in a room speaking, I can very easily now speak to my brand, and everyone knows my brand, and I've built that know, like, and trust with my clients and customers. So I would say if I could do anything differently, it would be, gosh, I wish I would have found my brand a long time ago. But back then we didn't talk about it like we do now. Today, everyone knows. You need a brand yourself. You hear it, you're trained on it. I just went to a phenomenal conference in Charleston, and we talked a lot about branding yourself. And I was like so excited. I came home and I thought, I'm going to speak more about my brand, publicly, so people know. And I've put some cool posts out this week, and I'm getting tremendous feedback. People like to see that you're branding yourself. They like that. It excites them. So what's the future look like for my brand? I'm sticking with it. This is authentically me.
Yes.
I am not changing it. I'm just going to go with it and grow with it and make it better and better. And I am also learning to be very vulnerable. And I'll give you one quick example. I have 3 daughters, and they're all adorable, and they just always are dressed so cute. And, I have a closet full of clothes, and what do? I work from home. So I grab the same old yoga outfit every day and put it on. And I'm like, I'm going to spend some time, and I'm going to organize my closet, and I'm going to put outfits together. And it's not going to be the same clothing, the same pair of pants with the same sweater every single day. I'm going to change it up. And so I just did a live video on it, and people are already responding. Thank you so much for sharing that with me.
It's cool.
I was vulnerable and saying, this is difficult for me. This is a challenge. I go for the same pants with the same shirt because it looks nice together, or that's how I bought it.
Right.
And I don't change it up. And so I thought, I'm just going to be more transparent and vulnerable, because to me, the most important thing is that my clients know, like, and trust me. And they know that my heart is to serve them. and that I will be honest and transparent with everything. So that's what my future looks like with my brand, just really going with it and growing with it. I would say my biggest lessons learned, I would have to stick with being vulnerable and transparent are so huge. People can smell you a mile away if you're not genuine. They really can. And I think about people that I choose to work with, and I choose to work with people who are honest with me, that I'm a question asker. I would call myself a professional question asker. When I meet people, I want to know all about them, and I'll ask a lot of questions. I want to work with people who care about me too, who ask me questions too. And I find sometimes people like to talk about themselves, but they don't ask me anything about myself. So I think about that, like when I'm talking to people, what do I like? What makes me feel good? What makes me want to hire someone or work with someone? And that's really it. So it's really taught me to really be a great listener, ask a lot of questions, listen, figure out what my clients need, and then how can I best serve them? And I would say, of all the lessons I've learned, I'm a very huge John Maxwell fan, and he talks constantly about servant leadership. And if the Zig Ziglar quote, I live my life by, if you help enough other people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And that's how I've lived my life. It's how I've grown my business, grown my brand, and how I've achieved, pretty good success now in my career because of those philosophies.
Right. So that is a really, really great story. And what I find really interesting is that you had this whole time frame where you were very successful. And so to some degree, you were probably the brand, right? Like it would be Cyndi. That's who people would talk about. And now you have synergy. And so now it sounds like to me like you have a higher level of strategic thinking about what you do.
Right.
Is that right?
Right. Because I'm in the health and wellness world. So a lot of people will label me more of a weight loss coach, or she works with athletes or people that like to work out. And if I'm going to be labeled, I want to be someone that can help people with their faith, with their family, with their friends, with their health, with their fitness, with all of the pillars that synergy encompasses. And it's really interesting because I'll have people reach out to me for advice on different things now. I'm famous for telling people to reframe things. I make a square with my hands. Because of the mindset coaching that I do. And so I wanted people to know that I'm not just a weight loss coach, that I really want to help people in every area of their life.
Right. And when you talk about reframing things and mindset, what is the hardest thing for people in getting momentum, in getting their mindset changed, or in getting a new mindset? Because I think that's really, really hard.
It is. And, I work with people. I've seen so many miraculous things happen. And then I've seen people that just can't get out of their way. I've seen it all. And what I find is if someone has a why big enough, they'll be willing to get to work and change some bad habits. And what happens is we form bad habits. The way that, I was raised and the things I heard growing up, they really taught me to behave in a certain way, to think a certain way. And it was really, I had to come to a point where I made a decision to think differently. Just because I grew up with not a very good wealth mindset, not a positive attitude, I wasn't around a lot of positivity. Just because I grew up that way does not mean my whole life needs to be that way.
Right.
So people need to understand that they have a choice. And I just went to a beautiful conference with a lady from the UK, and she talks all about, I actually have the bracelet on today. It says, I am enough. And so many people have things that have happened even back to their childhood. And I see this in 40, 50, and 60-year-old people still dealing with, they've never dealt with what happened to them growing up or bad experiences they've had. And it's left them to the point where they don't care about their health. They don't take care of their finances. They have trouble in their relationships, all of these things. So I really try to help people with the mindset piece of it is, let's just use my health. I'm a health coach. So if I'm dealing with someone that maybe has blockage around being healthy and they just have made very poor health habits, I will ask questions, when did this start? And, why? Try to get to the heart of it, because often it's something that triggered them when they were young. And when every time they get upset or stressed out, they seek food for comfort. So it's figuring that out. And then how can we fix that? How can we replace those bad habits of maybe sitting in front of the TV at night with a bag of chips, eating out of a bag? How can we identify those bad habits and then one by one, not all at once, replace them with good habits? Instead of sitting down and watching TV for a couple hours, eating in front of the TV, how about if you have a dog, take the dog outside, go for a walk. If you have an exercise bike in the house, hop on the bike for a little bit. You can still watch TV, but do it on a bike and not eating chips. One by one, just kind of replacing those habits. And it is tricky, but this is the good news is anyone can do it. If they really want to, if they focus on their why and not their excuses, no excuses. Focus on your why. You can change all these bad negative behaviors, things that you've grown up with that even if they've been in you for 20, 30, 40 years, you can change them. Once you declare you're changing them, you decide, you commit, and you do the work.
Right. So you said something that really struck me, and I've not heard it phrased in this way before, and I think it is transformational to think about it this way. And when you first started talking about your why, you said that you were willing to do, when you said, my family is my why, you said, when I realized that I was willing to do uncomfortable things to achieve what I wanted to achieve with my family. And that your family was that strong of a why. Now, here's what's interesting to me about that. I hear a lot of people say, you need to know your why. You need to know your purpose. You need to know your passion. But I've never heard it reframed in, I am willing to do uncomfortable things to achieve what I need to achieve for my why. I've always heard it framed as sort of an esoteric, philosophical kind of, value out there. But to connect it to the very uncomfortable things that you might have to do, I think is really, really significant. And I want to thank you for framing it that way, because that is a message to me that is really foundational to the why, and not just having a why, but being willing to put the uncomfortable action behind it. That's hard work.
It's hard work. And the bottom line is, no matter what business you're in, no matter what industry you're in, I love what I do. What I do is so much fun. It does not feel like work. But that does not mean I don't have things I don't like to do. I mean, 100% of it isn't glorious and wonderful. I mean, I have all kinds of things happen and curveballs thrown at me, just like anyone else in any other company, any other industry. And there's things that we have to do, whether we like it or not, if we want to be successful. And growth is on the other side of that comfort zone. And if your why is not big enough that it will let you do things that are uncomfortable and treat it like I look at things that are going to stretch me and grow me and get me out of my comfort zone as a gift. I don't look at it like, oh gosh, I've got to get on another podcast. I look at it like, this is such a great opportunity for me to share my story. Maybe one person will get something out of this today. What an awesome experience. I'm so grateful for this. So again, we have a choice how we look at things. And I look at those uncomfortable things and facing fears in my business as I'll do anything for my family. I mean, most people would walk through fire for their families or whatever your burning why is. It doesn't have to be your family. It can be something else. For me, my whole childhood, all I dreamed of, and I'm sure this got me through my childhood, was having a big, happy family of my own one day. And it's what I prayed for. I remember praying it as a kid in my high school yearbook when everyone wrote down under their ambition, they wanted to be a doctor. They wanted to be a lawyer. I wrote, I want to have a big, happy family. That was all I wanted in life. So my why is so strong. There's nothing I will not do to be successful so that I can leave a legacy for my family because they're everything to me.
That is so beautiful. I got that in a way I have not got that before.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. So along with this and kind of in closing, in health and wellness, there's a lot of excuses. There's a lot of conversely discipline that's required. And I think that perhaps, and I'm sure you know this better than I do, that the most successful people who get to their goals, their health and fitness goals, are those who have someone who they're accountable to, who walks beside them, not literally, well, maybe literally, but someone who's maybe a guide. Can you speak to that a bit?
Yeah, accountability partners are everything. But in every area of life, I have business accountability partners. So we help each other from a business standpoint. When it comes to health and wellness, I have another quote that I love. It's a Jim Rohn quote, and it's if you are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So choose wisely. And I've told my kids that growing up. When it comes to health and wellness, a lot of the clients that I coach, the reason they're unhealthy is their circle of 5, they're all unhealthy.
Oh, yeah.
And have accountability partners that are going to the gym, that are making healthy choices when they go out to eat. And so that's one of the first things that we look at when I'm coaching with people. And I'm not telling people, you can't be friends with anyone that's unhealthy. Not at all. Not at all. I mean, we all have friends and family that are on different paths. But what I'm saying is, the people that you really are surrounding yourself with, you want to choose very wisely and, have an accountability partner, have someone, when I work out, I very rarely work out alone. Very rarely. This morning I've been with my girlfriend because I'll quit on me, but I'm not going to disappoint a friend. I'm not going to disappoint an accountability partner. I work out with my husband 3 days a week in our home. We have some weights down in our basement. I'm not going to disappoint my husband because he really likes my energy and likes to work out with me. And if I don't work out, he doesn't want to work out. And that's how accountability works. So whether it's a spouse, whether it's a girlfriend, I run with my girlfriends. I do weights with my husband. I'll do yoga with my girlfriends. Whatever it is, find something physically that you enjoy doing and find a friend to do it with. It's a great opportunity to catch up with people. Most of us are so busy now. We don't have time to talk on the phone and, keep those relationships in the forefront like we'd like to. So find something that you enjoy doing and do it. It'll help you be active. You get your exercise in. Also, what a double whammy, catch up with your best friends or your spouse or your family or your kids and have that accountability. And same thing with healthy eating. In a house, it's very hard if one partner is healthy and one's not. So when I made our changes a little over 7 years ago, I did it slowly, but it was like one thing at a time I got rid of. house.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing at a time disappeared until now. We don't have any junk food in the house anymore. I mean, we just don't.
Yeah.
There is healthy versions for everything. My husband has a horrible sweet tooth. So we just try to have healthy sweets around the house so he can get his sweet treat in every single day, not feel deprived. But we've as a family, we've committed to health and we do it together. So it can be difficult. And I hear all kinds of excuses, all kinds. And your why has to be stronger than your excuse if you want to tackle this one. It's a big one. And you can do your work now and be healthy now, or you can spend your money and end up having to be on medications for all kinds of things that come when you get older. And I'm just all about what changes can we make now and be preventative with our health so we don't have to be proactive when something happens later.
Right. Good words of advice. Okay, we're going to have a little bit of fun. So I didn't tell you at the beginning, but we're going to do a brand quiz.
Oh, dear.
It's really easy.
Okay.
So the brand quiz is a preference, so you can't get it wrong. Okay. So brand quiz, which is your preference, Pepsi or Coke? Probably not a good question to ask you.
Bubbly or LaCroix?
Okay, there you go. BMW or Mercedes?
Oh, gosh. I am not a car person either. I will just say Mercedes.
Okay. All right. How about Uber or Lyft?
Uber, it's all I know.
Okay. iPhone or Android?
Definitely iPhone.
Okay, good. All right. So this is the last question. It's not a preference question, but there was a research study done in, I think, like January or February. And the question is, what is the number one most loved and used brand in America? So
first thing that comes to my mind is Just Do It, Nike.
Okay, I think they might be fourth or fifth. So think about where you can get everything you ever want every day.
Amazon.
All right. Okay, ding, ding, ding. You got it.
Okay.
So currently, Amazon is the number one loved brand and used brand in America. So when you know the answer, I mean, it's pretty obvious because everybody uses Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
So Cyndi, before I let you go, is there an offer that you have for our viewers and our listeners?
Absolutely. So if you visit my website, which is www.cindywalter.com, Cyndi spelled CYNDI, you can click and put your email address in, and I will immediately email you a really great healthy living guide. And also you can sign up to have a free 15-minute consultation with me. So if there's anything that you're needing help with that you see on my website that I am capable of helping you with, you can sign up for a free 15-minute consultation. And I'd love to talk to you and help you any way I can.
So Cyndi, I want to thank you for being here with us today. A lot of really, really good information. I can see in our conversation that you do transform or help to transform your clients' lives. And I applaud you for that. Kudos to you. Thanks again. And to my friends out there who are listening to our podcast or watching us on YouTube, I want to thank you for being here. Follow Cyndi's advice because she has the synergy for all of it to work for you. So we will see you soon, my friends, and that's a wrap.
Thanks so much.
You just heard another great formula for brand success. What's your secret sauce or magic formula? Post your story on our Facebook page called Brand Buzz. Then come back soon for the next brand success story that's cooking up right now.